Hi, my name is Amanda Escamilla, and today we're going to be making flour tortillas. We're going to start with 4 cups of scanted flour, and we're going to add about 1 teaspoon plus, a little more of salt, okay, into the 4 cups. And then we're going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of baking powder into the mix. And while we have that, we're going to go ahead and just mix that up gently, just to get it all incorporated together before we actually add the shortening. So here we have half a cup of vegetable shortening, and we're going to go ahead and add this into the mix. And what we can do is then cut it. So we want to cut it into the flour and make sure that it's all into small pieces and that it's all part of the mixture here before we add the hot water. So flour tortillas are very popular in South Texas and different parts of northern parts of Mexico, for that matter. And corn tortillas are also very popular, but in these particular regions, the flour tortilla is something that is used quite a lot. So for example, flour tortillas can be used for making tacos, soft tacos. You can use fajitas or add breakfast items. One of my favorite things are to use breakfast tacos and use cactus and scrambled eggs inside of them with a little bit of chile. So we're going to go ahead now and add the hot water. And again, 1.25 cups should do you well, and it should be pretty hot. And as hot as your hands can take it, because that's what we're going to be using, is our hands to mix it up. Okay? So let's start with this and see how well we do. So you want to make sure it's well incorporated, that all the shortening and the baking powder and the salt is okay and all well mixed. And it takes practice to know and to get to know the dough that you want in order to get it perfect. So I would recommend that try it a few times. You could probably use a tiny bit more water, and that'll take up about 1.25 cups. So here we have. So once it's all well incorporated into a dough like this, you can even take it out of the bowl and then knead it on the surface, just to give it a little bit more leverage. So what you do is you want to bring the sides in, and we're kneading it, making sure that it all comes together well. And it's a really nice consistency. It's glutinous. And you know, really, the idea is that you can mix it for about maybe 3 minutes or so until it's well incorporated. You can tell that it's been well kneaded. And I think that we're pretty close. So once it's done, you want to take it into a ball and do this like a big ball. Put it down. And from there, you want to cut it. So I like to just take a piece that's probably about maybe 2 inches in diameter. And I like to make sure you make these little balls in this way so that they can start to rise. So here's another. I'd say about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. I'm going to finish making the dough, making these into little balls, and put them here on one side so they can rise. And what I'll do is put I'm going to cover them and let them rise. So now we're going to go ahead and start to roll the tortillas out. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit of flour on the top, and it looks like they have risen, and we are ready for a little flour. So we'll put a little on the top just to help roll it out. So what I like to do is take the whole thing and just give it one more round that way. Put it down with your palm, press it down, and you start in the center. Go out and then back. Pick it up about halfway, flip it around, do the same thing until it comes out, until it's to the right thickness that you'd like it to be. So don't expect that it should come out absolutely round the first time that you make tortillas. It really does take practice. So you have to just have patience and try it a few times until you get it right. But basically, you want to just take the dough, pick it up, flip it around about 1/3 or halfway over, and then just roll it back and forth. So you don't want to use any other motion for it. Okay, now that this the tortilla is now been rolled out, the dough has been rolled out, we're going to go ahead and take it to the hot skillet. Okay, so now I rolled out the dough, and I like to use one at a time. So once you roll them out, go ahead and throw them on a hot griddle or a skillet at about 375. And the idea is that the griddle should be nice and hot, ungreased. But the really exciting part about a flour tortilla is once you put it on the griddle, in about 30 seconds or so, you start to see the bubbles rise. And once you see the bubbles rise, that is a good indication that the dough has been mixed well together and that they're going to be nice, soft, and fluffy. And that's exciting. So here we have about it's about 30 seconds, which is a good thing. And I would say keep the tortilla on for about 2 minutes or so. Really is that you want to have some nice brown spots, but you don't want to burn it. You still want to be able to see some of the white of the flour tortilla itself. So I'd say about another 30 seconds here, and then we can flip it. Okay. Looks good. I think that's a great indication. The bubbles have risen. We flipped it over, and on the second side, usually don't have to keep it on the griddle or the skillet that long. Probably another 30 to 45 seconds, and that should do it. So now that it's ready, you could put some fajitas in here. You could put a little butter on it, whatever you want. It's nice and hot. It's fresh. It's ready to go. Enjoy it.